Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Frugal Freddy, where we have real money talk with a human touch. Make sure you like and subscribe to get the latest episode of the podcast. Today, I have a very, very, very good friend of mine, Payne Jr. Welcome, brother.
Hey, thank you so much, Frugal Freddy, for having me, man.
Yes. So me and Donald, man, we go way back. Almost 10 years, man.
Yeah, it has been.
Almost 10 years. We met through his sister, Ivana, and we've developed a brotherhood since then. So before we really jump in, can you let the people know who you are, what you're about, your profession, all the things that you do?
Absolutely. So I'm Donald Payne Jr., based out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm a real estate agent, real estate investor. I'm broker. I'm a licensed general contractor. I love everything real estate, and I also love to travel.
Yes, you do. Yeah. So one thing I love about Donald, so Donald is my realtor. So we have a connection. He has that Vision Realty shirt on. So once we closed on the duplex, we'll talk about the duplex. I got the merch. I got my own t-shirt. I got my own hoodie. I wear it very faithfully and very confidently in the community. So
did I get you the cover too? Did you get the cover?
I did get the cover.
I just want to make sure you got that.
I got the cover, and I use it when I go to all these festivals and stuff. So,
all right, there you go.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Alrighty, man. So you say you're a realtor, you're an investor, you're a GC. Mm-hmm. Why? Like, what was your why? What made you want to go into real estate?
Yeah, so my dad's been in real estate for a long time. And
Donald Payne Sr.? Yeah,
Donald Payne Sr. Shout out to you, Pops. Mm-hmm. And this year for him is 45 years in real estate.
Wow.
So we're having a party for that, and you're invited to that. Yes. And many of you out in the audience, if y'all know us, you're probably invited as well. It's going to be great. But long story short, I was in college, and I was, me and my sister were very close. Mm-hmm. She was doing corporate America. I really thought I wanted to do corporate America because she's older. I was just kind of like seeing things she had going on. Mm-hmm. And did an internship at Honda, and it was kind of like, it was great, but it was also kind of like, just okay. Mm-hmm. Did some network marketing in college. You know, we all kind of got into different things. And because of that, I kind of saw that, man, I really like working with people.
That's what's up.
Dad always worked a lot growing up. Mm-hmm. You know, take your kid to work day type stuff. Mm-hmm. It was kind of boring, it seemed like. But
back in the day,
yeah. So I mean, once I got started though, I saw that it was actually pretty exciting. Definitely had some stress to it.
I'm sure.
Definitely had some challenges. Mm-hmm. Definitely can make some great money doing it. Mm-hmm. But you got to be kind of patient because the day you're supposed to close is not always the day you're going to close.
That's real. How long you been in the industry?
12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You a vet.
Yeah.
You be at conferences and all that. That's dope, man. Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah.
And I love that about you. I know, when we were going through our journey of me getting the duplex, like you're a natural educator and teacher. Like you broke it down where I felt comfortable with the decision. But now sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know about the duplex. And like I said, we'll talk about more about that. I was like, man, but I love that about you where you break it down where it's very, very simple, the home buying process.
Yes.
And with that, especially here in Columbus is one of the most, booming markets here in the United States. Yeah. Why do you think home ownership is important just for the everyday Joe and Jane?
I mean, if you just, right now it's 2024. By the time you see this video, who knows what year it is? Right. Who knows what the home prices are?
True.
But if you bought at any point in time in the last 5 years, you'd have seen the value of your property go up. Mm-hmm. That to me is one of the key points of home ownership is the equity you gain and what you can do with that in the future. Mm-hmm. I've always told people you can leverage that equity to make investments. Mm-hmm. You can pay off other debts. You can finance your kids' college. You can let it build. You can pay off the house, but you actually own it. Yeah. Right. Of course, you got taxes, you got insurance, but it's the fact that you actually own the asset versus you're always paying on what somebody else owns. Mm-hmm. Now, again, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki, they'll tell you that home ownership is actually a liability versus an asset. Yeah. And in some ways, I don't disagree with them because it's money going out of your pocket versus money coming in your pocket. True. But people don't really talk about the value of actually owning something, the appreciation that happens. And also the fact that at least people don't also know this too, is that like, if you're single, the first $250,000 in value, if you sell the property, is not taxable. If you're married, it's $500,000 in value. So of your personal residence only though. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing. Like, again, you could really come up off owning a house. Mm-hmm. But again, you also do have maintenance. So there's a pro and con to that.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing where I enjoyed about our relationship before I went down the path of trying to buy a duplex. Like, you would tell me like, get ready for it, like prepare for this purchase, because it's not an easy purchase to make, and it's not a cheap purchase to make either.
Yeah.
So with that, if someone out there in the audience, what would you tell them what to do in preparation of buying a single family, a multifamily, or just residential?
Yeah. So great question. Couple of things. You want to have around a 640 credit score or higher. That's a big part of it. The other thing too, this is more of a ninja tip that a lot of people don't know about, is buy a house before you get a car payment.
Ooh.
Right. Because this thing called DTI, debt to income ratio, a lot of people's car payments, let's say you got a $200 a month car payment, which the average car payment in America is like $400 some. That's
crazy.
Right. So let's say you do a $200 a month car payment. Do you realize that it's $5 per $1,000? So that's $40,000 in buying power. That's taken away from you from buying a house because you bought a car first.
So you're saying buy the house first and then the car?
Yeah, buy the house first and the car.
Where you could potentially, if your property increase in value, you can take some of the equity out to buy the car.
You really could, though. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting into strategy now, man. I like that. You're getting into strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, there is.
You know what I mean? So, no, I think that's good. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
good.
But you said the credit score.
Yeah.
Consider buying a home first before the car.
Because your debt to income ratio, which your lender will help you go through. Find you a great realtor. Find you a great lender in your area. And also, too, make sure you ask your realtor and lender about any type of, if you're buying a single family, down payment assistance programs. Because there's also, especially right now, there's some great grant programs. So there's money you don't have to pay back for being a first-time home buyer. And then, there's also some loan programs to help you get a down payment as well. So again, you can save money up. You can borrow from your 401k. You can get grant money for that as well. It just depends on what really works for you. Now, on the duplex side, 3 units and 4 units. Here's something that's really, really interesting about that, is that if the property is already rented and there's a vacant unit, it actually helps you qualify for more. So let's say you're
telling me that
qualify for 400,000. Well, for a duplex, you might be qualified for 6 if the other side is rented. It just depends, because the lender uses that income to actually help your income look bigger, because they do like a forecasting type situation.
I remember when let's just talk about the duplex. Like when I went down the path of buying this duplex 2 years ago, actually. And back to the DTI, the debt to income ratio, you were telling me, like, because at that time, that unit was renting out for like $600. And
it wasn't really helping me much.
No, not at all.
It still helps.
It's something.
But it doesn't do a lot. Yeah.
No. And then you say, hey, man, we can utilize some of that, the projected income from that, for your, qualification, all the things for the duplex. And I think that's something that needs to be told even more often. You know what I mean? So with the duplex, like when I reached out to you, because we were looking a long time for this duplex.
It was a period of years.
Yeah. A long time.
But this time around, it was only, 6-8 months maybe?
Yeah, 6 to 8 months.
And I think that was because the duplex market was hot.
It was. I remember it was one in Reynoldsburg that I really wanted.
Yeah.
It was off of Broad, and I got bought out, or not got bought out, but I lost to a cash buyer.
Yeah.
I can't compete with that.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things that whole process of even the emotions, like getting excited about a duplex and, oh man, I want this one. Like, you're not a cash buyer. So they're going to go with the cash buyer. But the one that we landed on was probably the best thing that ever happened to me as, the start of my real estate investing journey.
Yeah.
So with that, like if someone wants to go down the path of getting a multifamily or just getting a duplex, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah. So a couple of things is that even if you use down payment assistance or you have the money for the down payment, I would save up a little extra money for improvements.
Facts.
For if your tenant doesn't pay.
Facts.
Also, I would tell you, like, at least in the Columbus market, I think you're Dayton, Newark, Springfield, maybe even Cleveland. You can actually buy a duplex where your rent probably will cover most of your mortgage payment. I think in Columbus, your 1 unit's rent was going to cover about 60% of that mortgage payment.
That's where I'm at.
So I think understanding that as well. And the other thing too to think about, and this is advice I tell all my duplex owners, all my duplex 3-unit and 4-unit buyers, is save up the first year of your tenant's payments and you make the payment for the first year. Because if you save up that money, you're pretty much ready for any type of maintenance that happens. Take your profit the second year, right?
Because the maintenance problems are going to happen.
They're going to happen.
They're going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I wish I would have, because I had some money saved up.
Yeah.
But one thing I did not realize, and I enjoy this about my journey into the, real estate game, is that you only know what you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the people out there, I bought a duplex 2 years ago and I did a full renovation on both sides. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Well, let's slow this down though. Uh-huh. We talked about this before you did it, right?
But I wanted the duplex.
Okay. But let's talk about though. I said, hey man, take it easy on the rehab. I want to make sure you mention that part.
Yes, you did say that.
Okay.
But I would say I was just
But I know, because even my first rehab, I overdid it too.
Yeah, yep.
That's just totally normal for everybody. Just FYI. Yeah. If you buy something, you feel like, oh well, I wouldn't live in that condition.
And you're right.
That's what everybody says. I did it too, so don't feel bad.
But I'm actually appreciative of that lesson.
Yeah.
Because if I would have tried to skim it, mm-hmm. I would never got any lessons from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm living in it, and I'm used to a certain style of living.
Yeah.
So with that, I did the renovation. I leveraged a lot of credit. My savings went down a lot.
Yeah.
Building that back up.
That's normal.
And that's a part of the journey.
That's part of rehabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for my first deal, and I would call you like, man, the hell with this duplex, man. Can I get a refund? You can't get a refund on the duplex. So it was just one of those things where I'm very appreciative of the 4 to 5 month journey of just rehabbing that.
Yeah.
No education program, no formal college could have given me that experience.
Yeah.
At all. So
and nobody can do it for you.
You're right.
You learn so much doing it first rehab. You get taken advantage of in some ways. Yep. I mean, that's just kind of goes with the territory. We all do it. And even though I'm a general contractor and I deal with subs, people could still get over on me too. So it's just the name of the game. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the way it goes.
I remember we had a conversation a couple months ago. It was at Waffle House.
Yeah.
And we were talking about just real estate investing and just the journey of just getting through it, liquidating or selling homes or, managing the debt more effectively. So in your journey as a real estate investor, how has that been for you?
Yeah, so I love this question. So this is something that I love to speak about that a lot of people don't talk about. You're watching your online gurus, you're seeing everybody with 100 rental properties, seeing flipping houses, doing everything. But what you don't realize though, for a lot of investors, is we got a lot of credit card debt, right? We're leveraging credit cards, we're leveraging private money, leveraging credit lines to help get through these projects with the hopes that it sells for a great profit. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes it don't sell for what you want to sell for. Mm-hmm. So you don't pay back that debt as quickly. Mm-hmm. So one thing I say to all real estate investors, and I also say this to anybody that's aspiring, you got to manage your debt properly. Yeah. You got to be very mindful of how much credit card debt you take on, how many credit lines, HELOC against your house. Just be kind of careful because that stuff can compound quickly. Mm-hmm. Even when rates go up, those things can go up as well. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing I say is, sometimes we got to slow down. Mm. And this is a lesson that, I've been in real estate 12 years. I probably learned that on my 10th year.
That's real. About
slowing down.
Do you think social media played a part in going fast?
100%.
That's real.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up the social media piece because again, last 4 years, real estate's been a pretty hot subject in social media. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, real estate and social media will play a big role in how people think about it. Here. And sometimes like what I mean by slow down is like when you're in the middle of rehab that you experience 4 or 5 months, you just want to be over.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's like doing a high intensity workout and you're gassed and you just can't wait for it to be over. That's what rehabbing or flipping feels like.
Yeah.
You just want to be over, you want to get your check. And sometimes in the middle of that deal, you have to realize you just got to enjoy the process. I'm getting in shape and you got to slow down.
That's real.
And here's what I mean by slow down. If the material price ain't right, if your contractor overquoting you, if they're asking you for money for work that they haven't completed, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. Tell people no, slow it down. Sometimes what I've done many times, and I'm telling you, I've probably done this 60, 70, 80 times. I haven't learned the lesson. I'm still trying to learn it, is telling the guy no and just waiting till I get a better price.
Mm.
Sometimes I say, all right, yeah, just because I want to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that triggers them to say, hey, look, well, I guess we can keep getting money out of here.
Because they want to get paid.
They want to keep getting paid.
And it's crazy you say that. Like, during my journey, it was a couple times where I'm like, dang, like, I can't go back.
Yep.
We got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to move in. So
Mm-hmm.
I never said, to your point, like, just slow down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
a no is a yes to me. You know what I mean? Like, no, let's wait. Yeah. And I didn't give myself enough time to research the materials. That's what really got me. My kitchen and my bathrooms. And mind you, I had to do 2 kitchens and 2 bathrooms. Mm-hmm. And going into it, I didn't really factor that in.
Yeah.
Because to your point, flooring got expensive, paint got expensive.
It was that time in the market where material was crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy.
And I think when you took out those cabinets, have some mold behind there or something.
Yeah, and I couldn't even repurpose them.
Yeah, that we couldn't even see. I remember seeing that when you pulled them out.
Yeah, they cut all that mold out.
Yeah, so. And when you say that the material got you a little bit, are you saying that like the contractor overcharged you for it, or just the market?
The market. It was more the market.
Okay.
I paid for everything, and the GC just did the work and got some of the subs that he needed.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
I like that you did that.
Really, I didn't. That was by accident.
Now let me tell you this: that is you almost in a way you GC'd that project then.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think about
by
that.
you buying the material and you managing the contractor. It's almost you GCing the project. Because a lot of GCs, they buy the material and they charge the client for the material and the labor. Yeah, because sometimes you got to charge the client more because they ask you, they end up upgrading the material and you already quoted them a price, right? Or the material they want is not available, so you have to go to the next thing. Yeah, okay. And sometimes you also have to carry some of that money over too.
True.
So yeah, there's reasons why to do that. Yeah,
that was by mistake.
Nah, you did the right thing.
Yeah. So I know we're talking about real estate investing, like. Why did you get into real estate investing?
Man, that's a great question. So when I got started, it was 2012, right? It's the kind of 2011 was actually the lowest year across the country in real estate during the great 08 recession, right? 08, in my opinion, lasted about 9 years, 2008 through 2017. And that was at least how I lived it. It was, I mean, the recession for me was 9 years, but I got started in 2012. So in the bottom of that recession, I was selling a lot of properties to investors and to homeowners that had cash. And I just saw people investing, but I didn't have the money to invest at that time. I didn't understand. Back then, the banks weren't giving away money they are now. And I was like, man, I want to do this too. I want to keep selling houses, but also I want to be an investor as well.
I remember another conversation. We have a lot of conversations.
Sure.
I remember you said, being a realtor is your 9 to 5 and being an investor is your side hustle.
That is true.
And once you broke it down like that, I'm like, damn, that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I love that about you. So through your journey as a realtor, as an investor, as a GC now, what has been some highlights? I know we've been talking about some challenges, but throughout this journey, I'm sure there's been some highlights.
Oh, I got something for you, man. I mean, so a lot of friends, especially my friends that are investors, they say, Donald, why aren't you just an investor? Why are you still a realtor? Right? Because in the realtor world, my boss is my client, right? And I may make tons of more money than that client. I may do this, do that, yada, yada. But I still love helping people, man. And I think as investors, like sometimes investors, they only see the gratification of themselves getting a check. They sometimes don't know what it feels like for that homeowner to get a good product, right? And how that feels for them, and how
you help them get it.
Yeah, and how some people, they may not have ever been able to buy a house until you got involved and helped them figure out their stuff to get there, right?
That's a good point.
Or help somebody through a tough situation like a divorce or somebody passing away, or somebody got married and then they're about to have a family, so then you want to go ahead and sell them a house. There's something really gratifying for me about that, right?
And even as one of your clients, our relationship has been ongoing even after the sale or the purchase of the duplex, where I can hit you up. I remember when I was trying to find the right rent price.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when we bought it, it was like $600, which was well below market rate. And I've been able to raise it to $1,325.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
After the remodel. You know what I mean? So like, when I would hit you like, hey, Donald, like, does this make sense? Should I charge this? And I felt bad initially because I did like, it was like $1,750, and that was way more than that area. And it was on a 12-month lease. And I'm like, this don't feel right.
Yeah.
So I think a conversation through with you, I went to a 15-month lease and went to $1,295.
Yeah.
And I was able to find someone that could afford that.
Yeah.
And I know we talk about this a lot. I went to the Mr. Landlord conference this past year.
Oh yeah.
Where I heard about this strategy where you can put a tenant on a biweekly payment arrangement for their rent. And I did that for the second lease with my tenant, and it works out for both of us.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, and I asked her yesterday. She's like, "Yeah, I love it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Sweet."
When she gets paid, she can just pay part of her rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And break it up. And I know, in the previous lease that we had, the first lease that we had, she was late and short a couple times. And the Frugal Freddy in me is like, "Hey, let's have a conversation on why you're late." And she was like, my rent is due and my car note is due at the same time.
Yeah.
And those are two big bills.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I went to the conference and I heard that. I'm like, "Oh, that's the solution to my problem."
Oh yeah.
And it's been working ever since for both of us. So.
Come on, man.
And that's the one thing that I love about this community and just real estate, like, is, realtors like you going to Core Reed, meeting all these folks that are willing to pour into your business for free.
Yeah.
Just that information, that mentorship. So
yeah,
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Frugal. This is, just seeing you grow. It's been exciting, man.
I'm trying to build a little something over here.
Man, you doing it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So with that, before we close out, what would be 2 to 3 things you would tell anyone that either wants to get into real estate on the investing side and or who wants to buy their first home?
Yeah. So I would advise, if you want to be an investor, to buy your personal residence first. Right? It looks really good to the banks when you want to invest. It'll make you stabilize your own self. It's not every investment, goes as planned. Right?
That's real.
Number 2, I would say get some education. Find a local RIA group. Find an online community. Try some more freer, non-expensive education first, right? And then as you delve further into the more paid education, just make sure you're following somebody that's doing what they say they're going to do. So make sure you investigate. And then lastly, just know that real estate is a journey. It's not a sprint. Right? You're being more the tortoise than the hare. It's not get rich quick. It's get rich over time. And it is a very, very proven plan for wealth.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know one thing to add on that, you always tell me, keep your 9-to-5 job.
Keep your 9-to-5 job.
Hey, that makes you look very, very, very good. Keep that 9-to-5 job.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man. So if someone wanted to be one of your clients or just, have a conversation with you, where can they reach you at?
So you can reach out to me at donald.pyn on Instagram and on TikTok. You can find me at Donald Payne Jr. Vision on YouTube and also on Facebook. And then you can also reach out to me at www.visionrealty.com, Donald Payne Jr. at visionrealty.com. And my phone number is 614-447-3173. 614-447-3173. And Frugal, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate this.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. See y'all.